You know, TM has made some bold predictions on this show before, and none bolder than the one we're about to talk about. In Entertainment Now with TM Powell, sponsored by Emerald City Comics, the Oscar nominations are coming out Tuesday. Before we get to your big prediction that you've been talking about, let's talk first about new movies.
New movies. Well, we have Split, and I'm glad we don't have a whole lot of time because I don't want to spoil too much about this movie. This is M. Night Shyamalan's new movie. All of a sudden, this guy's made a comeback a little bit.
Oh, good.
With The Visit, we thought that was a good time when we saw that, and now we have Split. He's kind of getting back to his old school thriller roots. This movie does have a little bit of a slow burn at times, but that's just how he is in movies like Signs and The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable. But I don't mind a slow burn as long as it has a really cool payoff at the end. And this movie does. James McAvoy is great in this. We know him as young Professor X in all the new X-Men movies. He plays a schizophrenic that has 24 different personalities. And they're all different, so he really gets to showcase himself in a lot of different ways. Fun movie, definitely go see it because there are some things that will get spoiled. So definitely check out Split. I enjoyed it. Like I said, tad too long, but I can live with it just because of the outcome. Then there's some other Oscar contenders that are finally opening up here in Tampa. One is 20th Century Women. Now the deal with this one is it's more of a showcase for Annette Bening. It takes place in the late 70s. It's about a mom who lives in a house where she rents out some rooms and she has this son with no father figure. So all he has is these women around him that are kind of showing him the way as the culture's changing. It's a little slow for a character study, but I think the thing about that one is it's all about Annette Bening. She's really good in that movie. And also the Oscars are kind of looking up now and realizing that Annette Bening isn't young anymore, and we've nominated her a bunch of times, but we never gave her an award. So she's definitely got some buzz for this one.
Okay.
And the other one is The Founder with Michael Keaton, and that's about McDonald's. And it's about Ray Kroc and the opening days of McDonald's when they were trying to build the franchise. The Oscar potential was there for it, but it doesn't have that certain special thing that makes it an Oscar contender, that rises it up. Now another movie that did have this special thing last year, all of a sudden has huge Oscar buzz, more than 20th Century Women, more than The Founder, more than a lot of other films out there, and that's Deadpool. We've been talking about this forever.
I mean, we're celebrating it on the show today.
Yeah, look at us right now.
But yeah, so you, very early on, and I will defend you on this, you were the first guy to say, hey, this is changing the way we look at superhero movies. I really think that this deserves Oscar noms.
Well, we know how I feel, but I wanted to do a shop talk to find out how everyone else feels because you and I, we loved it. It was one of our favorite movies this year, but I did want some other opinions, and that's the focus of our new shop talk. Should Deadpool be nominated for Best Picture? We're here with Jake from The Crowded Takeover on 102.5 The Bone. Now, when it comes to Oscar movies, it always seems to be movies no one's ever heard of or no one ever seen. But then there's a movie like Deadpool that we all love. Should that be nominated for Best Picture?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, especially with the case of Deadpool, I think it took a genre of movie that's super popular right now and kind of turned it on its head. And, you know, like with Logan coming out, we're seeing that influence of that movie, you know, reflected in art to come. You know, it might not be an artsy movie, but I think it was an important film.
We're here with Spanish from the Mike Calta Show. Now, I know Spanish. Deadpool was your favorite movie in 2016. Do you think it should be nominated for Best Picture?
Yes, I do. I don't see why it wouldn't be nominated for Best Picture. I mean, the acting was phenomenal. I've noticed that the more I watch that movie, the more liners that I pick up on each time he does it. He should be nominated. He's amazing.
Now I'm here with Daryl from Emerald City Comics. Now, Daryl, I have a question for you. When it comes to a movie like Deadpool that we all loved and we all thought was great, do you think it should be nominated for Best Picture?
I think it should be. You know, the Oscars and comedy do not have a great relationship, and so I think it deserves it from a geek standpoint, but it's definitely groundbreaking, no holds barred, and one of the absolute best movies of last year. So should it? Yes. Will it? Probably not.
I think the reason why you're considering Deadpool for Best Picture is because 2016 has been the worst for films. It's just been a horrible year for films. There were so many great things that were supposed to happen in 2016, and they all fell flat. I could see it getting a little love, but that's a superhero movie where it just crosses a few lines. Even though I enjoyed it, it just goes too far for me.
I have found since forever that there's a big disconnect between the movies that are actually nominated and the movies that people truly love. And I realize there are things that go into making those decisions, but absolutely, a movie like Deadpool, among many other movies that people actually love, should be nominated.
Yeah, I like a movie that we can just all enjoy. Even though it was rated R, it was dirty, we all loved it.
Yeah, everybody loves dirty movies.
Should a movie like Deadpool be considered for Best Picture?
Should a movie like Deadpool be considered? Yeah, sure. Superhero movies need representation. Should Deadpool? No, not at all. I don't think Deadpool is an Oscar-worthy movie. I don't think Deadpool's this big revolutionary film. I enjoyed it. It was cute and fun, but I don't think it's going to be as impactful as we want it to be.
No.
Oh, you're such a sourpuss.
Nope. Because, I'm not going political here, but sometimes the popular choice isn't necessarily qualified to be in that upper echelon, okay? There is a class factor. There's a serious factor. You just have to take certain films in a different way. And Deadpool, for all of its entertainment value, there were tons of very entertaining films this year, but it's not a very thoughtful film. The day that the Oscars start considering films like Deadpool, I think we've reached a new low.
Oh, man.
We're here with Dennis from The Crowded Takeover on 102.5 The Bone. Okay, when it comes to Oscar films, it seems like a lot of ones we love always get snubbed. Do you think a movie like Deadpool should be considered for an Oscar?
I think the reason Deadpool should be considered for an Oscar would be the way that it sort of revolutionized the way that you can see a superhero movie, and the fact that it's rated R and it does so much stuff that superhero movies don't do these days. It's kind of like Jaws. I mean, look at Jaws, how the way that revolutionized the way that a horror film can be seen. So, yeah, I don't see why not.
Once you said Jaws, I just totally agree with you. You just brought up Jaws.
I'm honestly a little surprised that there was such a mixed bag when it came to whether or not Deadpool should be nominated for Best Picture. We already know how you feel, but will it be nominated?
Oh, if they go to 10, that's where it's going to happen if they go to 10. My mind keeps thinking, you know what, they're never going to do it. Just like Felix said, Felix is a purist. He surprised me in that segment.
Me too.
Felix is my boy, but he was totally like, no way, never. It just really surprised me. None of the monkeys fighting robots guys thought it. Now, the rest of the guys, Crowded Table, Spanish, and Daryl kind of said it, but my mind keeps telling me, no way, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Man, I've come this far. Screw it. I'm going with my heart. I say it gets nominated on Tuesday for Best Picture. They'll go to 10. We'll celebrate on Taco Tuesday. Oscar nominations for Deadpool. And listen, I want to tell you something before, just so I know we're not making this a joke. It has a Golden Globe nomination. First time a superhero movie's ever happened. Ryan Reynolds got nominated. It's got a Writers Guild nomination. It's got a Producers Guild. This was a $58 million superhero movie. That's basically an independent film by superhero movie standards. That's what the Academy loves, like this dark horse, a go-getter. It was a game changer. Just like everybody said in that segment, it changed the way we look at these superhero movies, and now everyone wants an R-rated superhero movie. I think it was enough a game changer whether they go to 10. If they go to 10, this movie will get in. It won't win, but the victory for Deadpool will just be getting in, and it'll be a big party. I don't care if I'm wrong on this one. I'll go down in flames, because if I'm right, I am not going to be humble about this. Trust me. I'm going to scream it from the mountaintop.
Well, if there was ever a Deadpool church, TM would definitely be the preacher. Listen, you can check out her reviews online at cw44.com. We'll be back with more 44 on the town.
It gets in.
Entertainment Now with TM Powell, brought to you by Emerald City Comics.